hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. Here's a very straightforward, slightly funky song from the early 1970s. It's got a few different sections with a couple of nice guitar riffs that we can get under our fingers. Nothing very difficult. The verse and the chorus both have a slightly odd number of bars, and then there's a bridge which again is a bit odd, but you know, it all holds together pretty well. It all works quite nicely. Just before I forget, I've been asked by a few people whether they can have the sheet music for the songs that I cover here. And actually, I prepare the songs in sheet music form for my students at City Lit, where I've been teaching for a long time, and we work through those, and they then form the basis of the videos I do here on YouTube. So if you'd like a copy of the sheet music, I'm now publishing them through the legitimate channels, Sheet Music Direct and Sheet Music Plus. So whether you're here in the UK or in the States or wherever, you should be able to get your hands on those professionally produced, and that would be great. Then you'll be able to follow along with the luxury of the sheet music in front of you. Okay, advert out of the way. Let's look at the intro, and it's a 2-bar thing, which is a single bar that repeats like this. I'm pretty sure on the original the guitarist uses a pick. I'm not doing that. And that little chord on 2 and 1 and 2 and, is that really a C chord? It doesn't have a root. Is it an A minor? A minor 7, I should say. I don't know. All the arrangements of this song I've seen say it's a C. I can't hear a C in the bass, so I don't know. But that has an impact in a moment, as you'll see when we look at the second part of the intro. Anyway, for now, think of that as a C, and you're just putting a finger down on the 1st fret of the 2nd string added to your straight E minor chord. Picking the bottom string, the 5th string, the top 4 strings, then adding that finger, and you've got that. Twice, and that's it. Then we get this. Which is a guitar, I guess, or maybe a synthesizer. I think it's guitar, isn't it? And that's played against this. Actually kind of the same thing. And this time I am calling that chord an A minor 7 because I can definitely hear an A in the bass. So, you know. And mostly in this song, we've got this fairly mellow tempo, but with a bit of kind of lively energy to it. I'm going to play in 16ths. So if I'm strumming on this second section here, change to the A minor 7 halfway through the second beat. Anyway, we get 4 of those. The tab for that, by the way, if you wanted to play the electric guitar part, is this. Easy enough. Okay, so it's kind of a 2-part intro. We get this twice. That we only hear at the very beginning of the song. Then we get into the 4 bars of this, because that's a 2-bar phrase that repeats, making 4 bars. Okay, so we've had 6 bars altogether. And I should add that when we get back into the verse, after the chorus, we get this intro, then the verse, then the chorus. When we come back into the verse, we get this again before the second verse kicks off. So anyway, that's the intro done. The verse is really 3 bars, which feels a bit odd. It kind of works. And then that repeats the second time's a little bit different, as you'll see. We get 2 beats of E. See the curtains, then G, hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. 2 bars each, then E, G, D, A, E. And when we get to that E, again, we move on halfway through the second beat to an A minor 7. So all of that is, see the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. Okay, slightly nerdy thing here. If we go from E to G, that's not an obvious change. But then we cycle around the circle of fifths kind of the wrong way. G to D, A to E. And in itself, it's not particularly interesting. It's a fairly evocative sound, but it might help you to memorize those chords, G, D, A, E, if the circle of fifths means anything to you. Anyway, the second half of the verse is exactly the same, except in the third bar, we just stay on an E. Little light shining through the window lets me know everything's alright. Oh, I fluffed that to A, didn't I? Let me know everything's alright. Anyway, that's that. That's the whole of the verse done. And now we're into the chorus. The chorus is a bar of A minor 7. It's too high for me, particularly with my cold. Summer breeze. Then we'll take that up 2 frets. Makes me feel fine. Told you it was high. Blowing back down to A minor 7. Blowing through the jasmine in my mind. We land on a G. Okay, so all of that. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Okay, so far so good. But then we get the tab is there. You could play that there maybe, just so that you're fretting those strings. Might sound a bit mellower, but that's the easy way to play it. If you're playing this on an open mic, are you going to stop your strumming and just play that thing? I don't know. If you've got 2 guitars, lovely, but anyway, that is tacked on to the end of this 4-bar phrase. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. And that whole thing just repeats. Okay, so you get basically 10 bars in the chorus. This 5-bar phrase repeats. If you weren't going to play the you would just strum through a 2nd bar of G, so it'd be like this. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. And repeat. Summer breeze. Okay, so that's the intro, the verse, and the chorus done. Now, after that chorus, we go back, as I said, to the into the 2nd verse, which is see the paper laying in the sidewalk, little music from the house next door. So I walk on up to the doorstep, through the screen and across the floor. Summer breeze. And we're into the 2nd chorus. So we've had all the intro, the verse, the chorus, a little bit of intro, 2nd verse, 2nd chorus, and now we're into the bridge. And what happens here is that our is recycled, but this time with lyrics, so I'll just strum that through. Sweet days of summer, the jasmine's in bloom. July is dressed up and playing her tune. Okay, so far so good. And then we've got another 5 bars tacked on the end of this. But I come home, C over D, so I'm just barring across the middle 4 strings at the 5th fret. But I come home for a bar from a hard day's work, D over E. So I'm just letting the bottom 3 strings ring open, and then we repeat those. And you're waiting there, not a care. Up to F sharp, care. Can't get that. And the final bar, which is a bit odd, but it kind of works. World, we get that. So all of that 2nd bit. But I come home from a hard day's work, and you're waiting there, not a care in the that'll have to do for the singing, I'm afraid. If you can hit those notes, good on you, but that's a little bit of a strain for me. Anyway, having got through that, we get back to the verse. See the smile awaiting in the kitchen, food cooking and a plates for two. Feel the arms that reach out to hold me in the evening when the day is through. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. One more. Blowing through the jasmine in my mind. And we finish with. And that just repeats until we fade. And that's probably enough of that. Okay, well look, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Leave a comment to let me know what other songs you'd like to see, and I'll be glad to oblige if I can, regardless of the singing. 1, 2, 3, 4. See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. Little light is shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. See the paper laying on the sidewalk, a little music from the house next door. So I walk on up to the doorstep, through the screen and across the floor. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Sweet days of summer, the jasmine's in bloom. July is dressed up and playing the tune. When I come home from a hard day's work and you're waiting there, not a care in the world. See the smile awaiting in the kitchen, food cooking and the plates for two. Feel the arms that reach out to hold me